More on that in a bit about Fox fans and injury. Yeah, we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. But right now, we're talking about Fox and Dylan Harper. Recently, there was an article via ESPN, and in that article, there was an anonymous scout slash exec that said that, hey, Harper has the makings to make Fox expendable. So we talked about how he doesn't, I should say, as of now. But what about down the road? Could that happen? And Matt, I'll start us off. I'm going to say, yeah, I think it could happen down the road. Um, there's so many. I think it's just not just with Harper himself. More on that in a bit. But if you look financially too, could there be a point where maybe they're going to have to, pay him big bucks? And could the Spurs team survive in this apron world of having to pay a Fox, potentially Steph Castle, big money? Obviously, we know Wemby's going to get paid, and then there's Harper. The list goes on and on. So could be some high salary to be paid down the road. Could Fox be kind of somebody who gets hit with collateral damage that way and say, you know what? We can't afford to pay all these things. We have this apron we got to worry about. Look what happened in Boston. Look what's happening right now with so many other teams trying to avoid that situation. Could the Spurs be in that situation, and could Fox be that person? Perhaps. We don't know, because he's probably going to get paid in a couple of weeks in August when that extension is up. Again, if Harper pans out and he is the real deal, then they might have to pay him down the road. So that's the financial side of things. But as far as on the court itself, I think, yeah, it's there. I think he'll fill out as obviously he gets older. He's going to get bigger. He's going to get stronger. I think he'll be able to do more offensively than maybe Fox can. And I think the key to all this is his three shot. That's got to go down. The long distance shooting's got to go down. But he just looks like a guard the Spurs have never had before at that position, point guard. The closest I could think of was DeJounte Murray. That's the closest comp I could think of in recent years, where you had a big, tall guard with the ability to get to the rim, slash, creativity, knock down the outside shot. But I think Harper has to make us to be maybe even better than DeJounte at an earlier stage than DeJounte was. So I think eventually that could force you put all that together. I'm trying to get it. Him on the court, both ends of the court, the financial situation the NBA world lives in, aprons and all that stuff. I think that could possibly happen. But again, down the road, what do you think?
Absolutely, and you're spot on. I think when it comes down to it, whatever the exec said right now about Fox,
Mm-hmm.
has some truth to it, in that there could be a situation down the road where the Spurs don't feel the need to keep both around. And
Mm-hmm.
like I mentioned, they're on different timelines. So perhaps, like we mentioned, Fox is up for an extension in August, 4 years, 220 million, something like that. And,
Two.
he'll get paid. And
Yeah.
what I'm thinking is that for those next 4 or 5 years, however long he's still on, because this will be an extension. So, he'd be
Mm-hmm.
on the books for 5 seasons. And, maybe by the last fourth, or maybe by the fourth or fifth year of that, that's when Dylan Harper really starts to cement himself as like this guard
Right.
that, you know, he can be projected to be somebody like Cade Cunningham, or like you said, a better
Mm-hmm.
DeJounte Murray. And at that point, that's when the Spurs kind of, maybe they start looking at, you know, it's not that
Mm-hmm.
Fox is bad when we really like this guy, but would it be worth it to use his salary and how good he is to get
Mm-hmm.
a position we don't have, or to get a player that fills
Right.
a need that we still, maybe in 4 years there's another big hole that's not shooting that the Spurs kind of find out
Mm-hmm.
they have. And so I think that that's kind of what the biggest thing is. Like you said, it's his 3-point shot, his ability to be different and not just
Mm-hmm.
fill in the same,
Mm-hmm.
basic guard position who can't shoot. We don't know
Mm-hmm.
what's going to happen with Stephon Castle's shot. We don't know if Victor
Mm-hmm.
Wembanyama is going to continue to shoot at the rate that he's shooting from three.
Right.
And so I think there are a lot of factors at play. So at the very roots of it, it makes sense. I understand where the scout was coming
Right.
from. I just don't think now is the right time to talk about that. I'm not so sure
Exactly.
that
Yeah.
that's discourse to be getting into, with
Yeah.
5 games Fox has played next to Victor.